I heard this shit ringing. I was like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Yeah, what's up? What's up, Joy?
Hey, what up with y'all, man? How y'all feeling?
Good, man.
Chilling, man.
Good.
Chilling.
Finally getting you on. Kel was like, said he was dying to get on, man. I was dying too. I was trying to like put it together so we could finally get you on the talk, the podcast, man. So.
Oh yeah, man. Oh yeah, whatever y'all trying to rap about, I'm all in, man.
Alright, man. Dope, man.
But what was I gonna say? Oh, on a side note, Malik, somebody told me that like they want to hear more beats, man, in the podcast, yo. Like,
oh, more beats.
Yeah. I think like the last one of the last two you posted had like less background music or something like that.
Oh yeah.
More like gaps in it.
Oh man, yeah, cause like I had to like, man, like cause doing the whole podcast, especially if we do like an hour, I try to, you know how I try to implement the music in it.
It's just
like, yeah, man, cause I be trying like, I be like, I'm gonna get this dude's music, or I just need to get like, or I can, what you can do is you can like help me out and like send me some joints and I can kind of like put them in there too, you know.
Okay.
I be trying like, I be trying to stretch it out.
It was like,
yeah, I be trying to stretch it out because it'd be like
somebody was like, yo, like it was like less music, man. I like hearing the music.
Oh, okay.
I was like,
okay.
I don't know, he might be running out of beats, man.
Nah, cause I be trying to, cause I be trying to get like, you know, I be trying to get like dudes that I mess with like music, you know, like Adam's music and like Entourage, like all the dudes that in the community, I be trying to get this stuff, and so I'll try to do it though. That's good to hear, like it's good to know, cause I don't be knowing, like I just be like, okay, I'm gonna do it this way. I don't know if people, you know what I mean, so it's good to know that though. But like, yeah, man, episode 7, this is the 7th episode, and you know, yeah, 7th episode. So man, yeah, I was like,
that's the God element, 5% of philosophy. That's the letter G.
7, yeah. Damn, man, yeah. so,
all right, that might be the image theme then. Might run that on there.
Yeah, he gets like cover for that, cause he's like running off of that. Yeah, man. But I want to jump into the thing, cause y'all, since you brought up to me, Kel, with Black Thought. You know, we talked about this before, but you know, I wanted to get your you know, what your thoughts on it, Troy. What you thought about it? You know, cause I heard what Kel, you know, you guys had talked about it, but I want to get your input on it too. You know.
I mean, I personally, I think Tariq did his thing, man. Like, that's a given. I think the real issue is that Head's been sleeping on dude. You know what I'm saying? Like, they've been sleeping on Black for years. And it's funny how, like, all of a sudden he in the conversation for, like, top 10 Dead or Alive and shit. And it's like, he's been needed to be in that conversation. He's a Grammy Award-winning MC in one of the most consistently prominent, or at least consistently potent rap groups of all time. And the dude, him and his crew, they the live band for the Tonight Show. Dog, you can't front on that.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? And he a lyrical animal. He didn't held his own against so many MCs, man. Pharaoh, Big Pun, Talib, West. You know what I'm saying? Like, Black Thought goes in, and it's not that shit ain't new. It's new to everybody else, but to like real hip heads, you know what I'm saying? They know what it is. They know dudes like him and Pharoah Monch and Sean Price and Razzcast. They get mad busy. You know what I'm saying? Like, also, if y'all hear the Young Justice theme in the background, that shit.
Oh no, I ain't nothing.
Okay, all right, bet. But yeah, you know, yeah, that to me is. Honestly, to me, it felt like another day in the office. You know what I'm saying? Like, but for everybody else, it's like, oh my gosh, Black Thought, we never knew. And it's like, always knew.
Yeah, I was telling Kel that, like, you know, like, of course, like, the people that's, like, in hip-hop, like, that really, like, knows the, you know what I mean, who's the lyricist and all that, like, we know about Black Thought, like you said, Black Thought can do, but, like, I got switched up. But, like, yeah, like, that's how I was saying, like, a lot of people, I feel like, they only know him or the roots by like playing on the you know what I mean, their band on the show or whatever, Jimmy Kimmel or whatever. Like they kind of they overlook Black Thought in that way. Like he's a OG in like the game, like as far as like people know what he can do, you know what I mean? And I feel like to certain people like us, like we know, like it's kind of like no surprise, like Black Thought went off, but like to other people, it is like, oh my god, like, this is like groundbreaking, and they're like, you know what I mean? And they're like, oh, this guy's gonna go far, like, but he's like, you know what I mean? It'd be people like that, I'd be like, yo, he's gonna go far if he keeps this up. But it's like, nah, like, come on, man. Like, it's people that do that though. They'll be like, yo, this kid, man, this guy's like he's the up and comer. Like, you know what I mean? People will do that, and this is crazy because it's just like this guy is a monster. Like, he's been around for so long. You know what I mean? I'm just glad to see him get his just dues. You know, in that way. Like, as far as like coming, like showing people, like, yeah, this is what I do. Like, you know what I mean? Not on some just I don't just play on the team.
I think Thought definitely stepped in and repped for like not even just for himself, man. I think he was just repping for like from the generation that he comes from, you know? Like and knowing like his like the entire era that he's been rocking with, that you know, people who are still rocking, and it's kind of like, yeah, I'm still here, you know? Like and I mean, you know, he's not the only one to do that. Like I was telling you, like I feel like Pharoah did the same thing with his last freestyle that went up, you know? And I mean, but you know, Pharoah is also so nice that like, shit, man, his shit probably went way beyond, you know, it went so, I think that shit still went way beyond people's heads, and I honestly feel like even Thought shit went, I mean, his shit has always been over people's heads, which is why he's, you know, probably one of the most underrated MCs of all time in all aspects of when it comes to MCing, like, you know, and people acknowledging him in some way. It's just like the cultural fad to kind of be into lyrics now, you know, like ever since Kendrick came out, it's like, oh, lyricism. There's this thing called lyricism it's actually kind of nice to hear, and those same people will be like, you know, like you talking about Logic, people will bring up like throw a lot weird ass names like Logic into the conversation, and like, and it's like, or Drake, you know what I'm saying, like, lyrical rappers. It's just like, the fuck is this shit, man? Like, you got people who have been like, you know, been cradled to the grave with this shit, and you know, it's not even like, I mean, I'm past the point of frustration and just kind of like, oh, it is what it is. Like, I see it for what it is. Like, I'm happy just to even like experience another piece of you know, another piece from Thought and from anybody who I've been rocking with, who I feel like has, you know, that they're still bringing that continuity with the skills, you know. Like, again, it's something that like, and I'm sure Troy feels it too, like, you know, sometimes there's just a lack of stimulus involved when it comes to new music. Even with like new MCs that I kind of like rock with, it's still kind of like, I'm kind of forced to like, not even forced, but, you know, I've conformed in a lot of ways, and given people a pass.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? To kind of get with it.
Yeah, I want to ask Troy something. I want to ask Troy, who's your? I want to give you a top. I want to put you in that, like, give me a top 5. But like, who's like top MCs that to you that you kind of you put up there, like your top echelon of like lyricists, or just like, you know what I mean, MCs from either new or old, like, just, you know what I mean.
You'd be surprised, man. Like, I'm constantly talking about my top list, but it fluctuates, you know what I'm saying? And before I even go to it, I just let you know what my criteria is. I feel like on top of being a skillful lyricist, you gotta know how to write a song. Yeah. And you gotta make albums. And I think that no other rapper has done that as much as Black Thought and the Root. So definitely Thought is in that conversation. KRS is in that conversation. And he's not in that conversation for a lot of people, but I also think it's a similar problem that Black Thought has. It's really what people think rap is. You know what I'm saying? You see all this attention get given to like NWA as being groundbreaking and this, that, and the third, but at the same time, they was on some niggerish shit. They wasn't really dropping no knowledge. You know what I'm saying? It was a controversy behind them. But you have rappers who don't have that controversy, and they go under the radar, like Black Thought, like KRS, like Pharoah Monch. You know what I'm saying? Like, but to me, I'm more about the music. So yeah, musically, definitely KRS, and I'll tell you why. When KRS was in his prime, like in the late '80s, early mid '90s, he existed during the golden age of hip hop and was dropping some of the dopest albums and some of the most potent albums. You know what I'm saying? Potent joints that people don't really realize is him. Like Sound of the Police. Most people don't realize You know what I'm saying? Like the Jimmy hat, like that terminology, he brought that into hip hop. You know what I'm saying? Fucking Step Into a World, shit like that. Those is KRS-One songs. Rappers act like they don't know. So yeah, you know what I'm saying? He was able to mix like making catchy rap songs with dropping knowledge, and it's like you don't see that. And when I say dropping knowledge, I don't mean just like criticizing the government. I mean he was dropping some real shit that make you think about religion and politics and humanity. You know what I'm saying? He's the first and only metaphysical MC. You know, he's the first and only rapper that raps about metaphysics.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like you don't really see that shit. And I gotta put him in that category for that. Then you have Redman, because Redman fathered many people's styles and don't get no credit for it. Redman fathered Eminem, especially the Slim Shady era. Eminem fathered Ludacris. You can't tell me Ludacris is not inspired by Eminem, from like the big little that little plush little life-size doll that he had running around, from the way that he rapped and shit. He was
I would say that Luda was actually more inspired by Red than by M. Like that's especially the style wise. As far as like that rah like wilding out, you know what I'm saying? Like party, like just, you know what I'm saying? Like that's something that I was saying way back when, and I actually wasn't fucking with Ludacris because I mean I you know, I've given him a listen, man, since, you know, and he's had some shit that I can rock with, you know what I'm saying? Like,
and you know that brings me to an idea. Like, I'm sorry to cut you off, Cal. I was looking at something online. They were saying they were comparing, because you know Luda's from the South, so they were comparing like they were like, it's T.I. and Ludacris, like between the two, like who could rap better. And it was interesting because it's like you almost forget like Ludacris. I mean, even if you didn't really mess with him in that way, like he could actually like spit. You know what I mean?
Right. Yeah, he'll shake off on T.I. definitely. You know, to me, T.I. is just real basic rap. You know what I'm saying? At least Ludacris has style, but once again, that style comes from Redman. You know what I'm saying? And I was gonna give y'all like about 3 more other like top MCs that's in my list. You know what I'm saying? And like, yeah, definitely Redman. Also, people forget Redman is one of the first truly hardcore rappers. Talking about like, you know, what's the shit he had? The little rated R joint we was rapping on some horror shit and all. You know what I'm saying? Redman did that shit before the Gravediggers, before the Flatliners. You know what I'm saying? He was horror before it had a name. You know what I'm saying? Especially on that first Redman album. So, you know what I'm saying? Something really changed the game. And he was rapping over those Eric Sermon funked out beats before Dr. Dre. You know what I'm saying? Really got popular like a year before. You know what I'm saying? Like, so.
Yeah, well, you know what was funny too? Because what was funny to me was when Wu-Tang dropped Wu Forever, and RZA was like, you know, he wasn't fucking with people trying to make like funk and rap. You know what I'm saying? And I thought that was real funny because Red was like the missing like the hidden member of Wu. You know what I'm saying? And his shit was well established with funk and rap. It's something I never really got who he was aiming at with that one, you know?
He was talking about Dr. Dre. Because you know what you're talking about, that intro, they was talking about Puffy, Dre, and fuck else, Master P. They was talking about that, you know what I'm saying? Because if you listen to some of the intros and dialogue on Wu-Tang, they was definitely taking shots at like Puffy, you know, especially saying because they weren't fucking with that shit. But back to the list. My fault. And I apologize.
You good.
But no, because you see how we like as we talk about these different MCs, we can, especially with Redman, we talk about the influence and the impact, and it's like something that's very overlooked. Another MC I'll name that's a younger rapper, but it's Capital Steez. I feel like Capital Steez. Yeah, Capital Steez had the potential to be one of the best of this new era, even more so than Kendrick, because a lot of the shit that Capital Steez was rapping is shit that like more or less people was giving Kendrick that credit for. And Kendrick is cool, don't get me wrong. Kendrick, he do his thing and he can rhyme. I never put that against him, but I feel like Capital Steez was more authentic with it. Whereas like with Kendrick, it's kind of okay, I'm doing this to kind of be alternative, to be outside of the box. what's going on, whereas Capital Steez is really on that shit. You know what I'm saying? It seemed like he was really left side of the hemisphere with his thought patterns and shit. Like he's another one that's mad slept on. You know what I mean? Yeah. And I think out of the whole Pro Era crew, I think he might have been the nicest. You know what I'm saying? Even more so than Joe. I mean, Joe, he do his thing, he get busy, but sit back and listen to some of the Capital Steez shit. You gonna be like, yo, son can rhyme. he can rap.
That reminds me too. They were supposed to put out his a project of his.
Yeah. They pushed it back. Yep.
Yeah, he pushed it back. I heard about that. I was like, oh, okay, dang. But yeah, they definitely supposed to be dropping something from him. So I definitely be on the lookout for that. You know what I mean? But I need to go back and listen to some more Capital Steez, man. I remember me and Kel, we talked about it, right, Kel? We talked about Capital Steez, like, well, not as.
Yeah, I think the last time we addressed it was because I mean when it happened, we talked about it when he died. But
yeah.
But then it came back up again when Troy Ave made that diss.
Yeah, that was when we kind of talked about it again. Yeah, it was crazy.
Yeah, who told me? Troy, was it you who told me about Taxstone?
Yeah,
we talked about that. Yeah, Taxstone, that whole situation, man.
Yeah, he was involved in the shit with Troy Ave. He was one of the shooters. Yeah.
Dang.
Yeah.
That's crazy. Oh yeah. How long is Taxstone gone for? He's gonna be gone for like.
Taxstone for like 15 to 20, I think. Ooh. That's unfortunate. You know what I'm saying? Like if this is a podcast that a lot of people eventually going to hear, I want to say peace to all of them. Troy Ave, Taxstone, because it's like that shit is kind of that's fucked up, man. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, that's just crazy, man.
Yeah, man. You know what I'm saying? Like that's yeah.
And remember, I was
and.
What's gonna say?
Go ahead.
Oh, go ahead, Gil.
No, I was gonna say what you was telling me about
XXXTentacion. Well, yeah, that brings up too. Like, I'm not sure how long he's gonna get, but like his estimated time is like 77 years or something like that, and it was just like that was pretty wild. Because I remember when me and you when I mentioned it to you, Kel, earlier today, I was saying like his charges as far as like the thing with his girlfriend and something like she was pregnant and something like he was like I don't know if he was beating her or whatever, but like. It was some confusion with that, but then there's other charges too that has it involved that he's done in the past, whatever. I'm not sure if it's just fighting or other stuff, but like you know, I was telling you too that like when he put that judge's like I don't know if he put her email up or he put like her information online and his fans started like messaging the judge and like threatening the judge. That kind of affected the whole case too. So it's just like it's pretty And then if you see like the videos, he's like shaking, like he's waiting, like he was trying to talk, and she was like, she told him like to stop talking or something like that, and he was just like shaking, like he was. I mean, it's a lot, man. You know what I mean? That's somebody's like a life. This is crazy to think like.
Oh yeah.
You know
I'm looking at something now. It's saying he's jailed on seven new felonies. It's fucking crazy, man.
Yeah. See,
young son is like 19 years old.
Yeah, he's mad young. Younger than me.
Man, you might as well start looking at him at whatever age he's gonna be if he gets out of jail now, because that nigga's about to jump in the time machine. You know, prison is like the reverse time machine where like everything around you, you stay the fucking same, and everything around you. Yeah, I guess it's pretty much a pretty accurate time machine. You stay like, you know how like you would like bury some shit on the ground and it's like, oh, I'm gonna check on it in 10 years from now. And see how it turned out. That's pretty much what they do to niggas when they throw them in jail and shit. Because then nigga will come out and he'll still be doing like the same shit that he was doing like style wise and like presentation wise, but he'll be like an old man and shit. That's how you can tell like when you meet old men like in DC and shit, and you wonder like if that nigga did time or not, or around what time he got locked up. All you gotta do is look at his slang and shit. You know what I'm saying? Look at the way he carry himself. So when I see like old dude and the old dude be like, "What's up, young blood?" Oh man, it's job talk. It's like, all right, this nigga got locked up back in the 60s and shit.
Yeah.
He must have just got out, and you know what I'm saying? Because once they get out, it's like, I mean, and when you locked up, like you're not learning new lingo and shit unless you learning it from other young niggas. But them old niggas ain't learning new shit. You know what I'm saying? Them old dogs ain't learning new tricks in jail. You know what I'm saying? Like you got little niggas coming and talk about Mo and all that.
Mo, yeah, but like even like look at like Meek Mill. Meek Mill got jailed for like 4 years at least. Ain't no 77, but like 4 years. That's like, man, that's nothing compared to like what X is getting. You know what I mean? So he's gonna.
But you know what? That's still like a major L, man.
I mean, yeah, like Yeah, it's just like ridiculous though when you look at it, because it's like 77 years. Like, I can't even, like, man, just thinking about that, like, I can't even, like, yo, I'm just done. Like, it's just like, yo, just put me to sleep.
How much time did Bobby Smurda get, man?
Bobby Shmurda got 7, but his affiliates, one of them Bama's got like 97 years to life.
Crazy.
Shit, man.
They like an organized like crime unit. That's why they shit was so tough. Like the GS9, you know what I'm saying? Like you know what I'm saying? So it's like, and then that's the other shit too, man. Like, it's still on the topic of the hip hop shit. A lot of the hip hop shit, man, it's so rooted in like gang and, you know, violent culture and shit, man. And, you know, a lot of the youngins, they eat that shit up, man. Yeah. And it's like TK47. I don't know if y'all hip to him.
Yeah. TK, yeah.
Yeah, you know what I'm saying? And it's funny because it's the difference between them, like, you look at somebody like an Ice Cube and a Dr. Dre's, who was kind of on the gangster shit back then. They was real studio with the shit. They wasn't out here, you know, committing crimes and shit like that. You know what I'm saying? Like, and we fans always looking for like that authentic, true gangster shit. And it's like, that ain't to be celebrated, man.
Yeah,
like,
but you know what? That touches on what me and you talked about before, Troy. When it was like, when there was a time where they weren't like, where it wasn't it wasn't like life imitating art, you know. At that point, like those dudes, and yeah, they were a lot more commercial, but it was less about the imitation and the image behind it, you know. Like that, they were setting those standards, you know what I'm saying? But at the time, it was just like people were coming out, they wanted to make dope music. It was about the music, and it was about like, on the surface, you know what I'm saying? And culturally, it was about the music, and it was about like what they were producing, and it was less about the image. And and Razzcast spoke on that plenty, you know what I'm saying? Like,
you know what? It's also this factor too. Is you gotta look at like the eras that predate the MCs that rhyme up a certain era. You know what I'm saying? Like a lot of the NWAs and the Razzcasts and the Wu-Tang, they children of the 70s and 80s, and that was like the heroin and crack era, you know what I'm saying, and the post-Vietnam era and shit like that. So their truth and their trauma reflected that, you know what I'm saying. Then you have like the Bobby Shmurdas and the TKs, they're children of like the 90s mass incarceration era, you know what I'm saying. And so that's another different type of trauma, you know what I'm saying. And it's like, hip hop, for real, hip hop is the voice of trauma. Hip hop is the voice of black trauma, whether it's conscious rap, whether it's militant rap, whether it's gangster rap. Hip hop always speaks about black trauma, and I think it's
I think black music in general
is about trauma.
Speaks about black trauma, yeah. I mean,
that's why when you look at music like techno and shit like that doesn't have a lot of lyricism. Yeah, it's definitely more escapist, but music genres like the blues especially and hip hop, it's all about expressing and confronting the truth. But the difference with hip hop is that now the truth is glamorized. So you glamorizing trauma. So now the trauma don't get resolved because it's normalized. And there's a constant cycle of that shit where you're gonna have constant situations of Bobby Shmurdas and the XX Tentacions, or how the fuck you pronounce the young dude. Like that. And you know what I'm saying? And we celebrate, not us three, but the culture celebrates.
The culture, celebrates. But you know what? It's because that's what's been presented as marketable out of it. Like that shit's been broken down. That's just been like the core aspects of it has been stripped away, and that's just been, and you know, whatever was most marketable about it was what was put out there. And I mean, it's funny because while that's happened, and there was a flip side of that, man, where at one point they were trying to market like, or quote unquote market quote unquote conscious rap, you know what I'm saying? With like, but I remember when Dead Press came out, man, and then like certain imagery of like revolution and rebellion and revolting was like a thing, but it was still like really kind of fucked up though, because like, you know, they would like drop in like you would have like the red, black, and green like wristbands and headbands and shit, but like since they were made by Chinese, they didn't give a fuck. The color order was all wrong. It was like red, green, and black, you know, and like you would have like Che Guevara on like t-shirts and hats and shit, you know what I'm saying? Like it was around the time where like there was a market for the selling, for selling like kind of selling revolution or like, but at the same time it was very short lived. You know what I'm saying? Like it ran a parallel with like gangster rap and shit like that, but it was very short lived. Like gangster rap ended up like eclipsing that shit, man. The gangster rap image.
Yeah, and that's what I'm saying. Like, Dead Prez was nothing but like a throwback to like X-Clan and Public Enemy, and that was like late '80s, early '90s. And it's funny how you mentioned that parallel because NWA came out and they overshadowed every single artist of that era that was on that type of shit. The Arrested Developments, the X-Clan, and in many ways the Public Enemy, which is kind of unique because Public Enemy and NWA are very similar and very different, but that one got promoted and the other didn't. And you know what's funny about this shit too? It all goes back to trauma. You gotta think about this shit. Who wants to promote and glamorize your trauma? Is it the people that are traumatized, or is it the people that don't give a fuck about your trauma? You know what I'm saying? Because you gotta think about the record industry. Is people always attacking rappers like, yo, y'all rapping this shit and y'all doing this, that, and the third, but nobody's attacking these record labels. And they the ones that give license for this shit to be allowed, even in the fucking era of SoundCloud and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah, they might release some shit on SoundCloud, but that's still an entity that, like, it's a business structure. You know what I'm saying? And it's like, they don't give a fuck about black people. They don't give a fuck about black trauma. So they're gonna promote that shit. And I was gonna segue back to Black Thought for a minute because I don't know if I listed Black Thought in the top MCs because Capital Steez,
Redman.
What else did I say?
Say Redman.
KRS.
And Black Thought. So with Black Thought, the reason Black Thought is so slept on is because as skillful and as lyrical and as accomplished and as mainstream as the Roots are, they still not rapping about black trauma in the way of like, you know, nigga this, pussy. You know what I'm saying? Like, Black Thought isn't a misogynistic rapper. And you gotta think about this too. The top rappers all embrace some type of misogyny. I take it even further than that. Most urban music glamorizes a level of misogynistic behavior, from Chris Brown to Fabulous to fucking, you know what I'm saying, whoever the fuck. They all are all about the degradation of women and more importantly, degradation and complete disregard for black women. That's you gotta think about that shit. You know what I'm saying? Because if you want to talk about black trauma, where does black women and their trauma fit into that shit? You know what I'm saying? And it's like, you have rappers there. Common made the joint about the, what's the joint with him and Lauryn Hill? I can't remember the name of that song. They're gonna take my hip hop head card away from me, man. Like, but it's on the One Day It'll All Make Sense album. And he'd be like, $3.99 ain't worth $325 ain't worth your soul. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. Respect for Life. I think that's the name of the joint.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, he's rapping about that trauma. Even MC Lyte rapping about the female trauma because she had the joint Georgie Porgy. She was rapping about dealing with a dude that fell on hard times and shit like that, had a drinking problem. Queen Latifah. But you know what?
Retrospect for Life. My bad.
Retrospect for Life. Yeah. But they not rapping about female trauma. You know what I'm saying? Because they rap for females aren't victims in rap. They're the object. They're the reward. And not even that. They're more like the shit that Conan be after. You know, give me the Lamentations and the women and all that shit like that. You know what I'm saying? And with the Roots don't celebrate that shit. They don't fall into that shit.
Well, you know what? Even when Common was because what the way that the Roots and the way that like Black Thought approached the idea of like black trauma is through self-reflection and growth through self-reflection, but they focus more on the self-reflection part. But that's also a thing that Common's always focused on too, is the self-reflection. It's kind of like they address that, like, we're all going through something on these many different levels. So this is how like, you know, we dig deep and we find ourselves within ourselves, you know. And Common was on that too, on many different ways. And Common also has some very surface level approaches to it. But then what happened, and the reason why I would say like an artist like Common took off before Black Thought is because Common also had like they saw him as a marketable for selling like love and and addressing like the romance and he's not like a sex symbol, but he is
actually kind
of, but not like in an LL Cool J way. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, he's like an alternative sex symbol. I would say that definitely like an alternative sex symbol, like and which is why an artist like Common would take off. And it took several albums for that to happen, and he's kind of been ratting on that one ever since. You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean, he's swayed back and forth. Let me stop. Like, let me give him his credit where it's due. Like, he's definitely like drifted away from that, kind of gone back into it again. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think that he's ever been the same Common that I grew up with. I don't think he's gonna back to that again.
Back when he was Common Sense, yeah.
But I mean, hell, like. Jay-Z called it, you know what I'm saying? Like, and maybe that's what got Common into it. Was just like, I used to want to rhyme like Common Sense, but I made 100. What did he say? I made something.
He said skills lyrically, I would be Talib Kweli.
Yeah. I mean, it's like.